Hello, this is about killing old folks in Pensacola, Florida. My name is James Grady Jones. I was born on 9/13/45. I'm a veteran. It's an honor to be so. 3 years ago, I met a wonderful woman named Irina I. Walker, who's a widow woman, born and raised in Germany, survived World War II, came to America in 1957. I met her, and we fell in love. Make a long story short, this is my second take because I went 12 minutes earlier. I survived a daughter, an adopted daughter named Angelica Orman, who was adopted here from South America 40 years ago. The daughter tried everything in the world to separate me from her mother, up to and including fraudulently accusing me of a lot of things to the Adult Protective Services. She reported me 11 times, and I was cleared of every allegation every time. She stole her mama's money. She got her mother to sign a bank deal to let her join a checking account. The next day she took her mama's savings and left $4 in the checking account. Nobody told us. Mother's got a little bit of dementia, and the old people forget stuff. But I fought them all. David Morgan, the sheriff, has been complicit in allowing his deputies to abuse us. I called an ambulance because Mrs. Walker fell on January the 8th, Elvis' special birthday, 2011, hit her head. I called an ambulance, and 4 big old redneck sheriffs showed up and arrested my woman at 75 years old, put her in handcuffs, and arrested her for domestic violence against me. The daughter continued to harass us, to punish us. She called the utility companies, the water and the power company, said, "Hey, my mom's got Alzheimer's, send me the bill." They sent her the bill. They didn't tell us. They cut our water off 3 months in a row. They cut our electricity off in November. She paid our mortgage in July of 2011, and the check bounced 4 times back to our account, our joint account. The bank refused. Gulf Winds Bank refused to close the account. They said the daughter would have to come in too. She sent the sheriff to our house 20 times. I know this is unbelievable, but I got a good record, paper record, of all the things that have transpired. At this date, my woman is put away at Lakeview Mental Health Facility of the Baptist Medical Group in Pensacola, Florida, on a fraudulent power of attorney. It was fraudulent. I told them it was fraudulent because Mrs. Walker did not have the capacity to consent, and therefore she didn't sign the power of attorney. And the sheriff kept saying, "She signed it, she signed it, she signed it." So, sir, she can't sign anything. She does not have the power to consent. Mrs. Walker has about $150,000 in assets, of which about $75,000 to $100,000 is liquid, in stocks, in 401k, in annuities. And I didn't know it for almost a year. And when I found it out, I took it straight to a CPA. And he said, "You don't need me. This is her money." And he went through and he gave me the numbers to call. We verified that it was her money. Nobody had power of attorney, and nobody could mess with it. At any rate, I'm appealing to somebody to help us. Our house went into foreclosure because City Mortgage dragged their feet. We refinanced the house at a lower rate than 5.6%. They didn't want to do it. They finally agreed to do it. And it was supposed to close in November, and then it got put off to December. We owed $200 property owner association fee. City Mortgage told me, "Look, it's got to be a hardship deal." So I quit paying the payments in like October. So I know people that stayed at home for 3 years. We weren't trying to pull anything wool over anybody's eyes. City Mortgage told me that they would take the arrearages and put on the end of the mortgage at a 3.75 rate. In the meantime, they kept stalling, and it came time for the property owner association to be satisfied. They filed a foreclosure, and I filed with Pat Kinsey in Pensacola, Florida, judge, a letter, and she delayed it from November 28th to December 28th. On December 28th, we were to appear and satisfy the debt. It ballooned from $200 to $400 to $2,600. We had $2,600. Mrs. Walker has plenty of liquid assets, but I cannot be the guardian because I'm not married to her. And the reason I didn't marry her was because of her survivor benefits from Social Security we needed to live on. We lived a wonderful 3 years, and I'm just calling on anybody to help us. On August 1st, on or about of 2011, the daughter's ex-father-in-law, he's a thug. His name is Logan Fink. He's a wannabe politician that used to be water commissioner. He came with a thug year sheriff named C.J. Smith, and they told me to shut up. I had to go, waving a eviction notice at me. And I said, no, this is not America that I know. I don't have to go anywhere. And they searched the house for her investment portfolios because they got wind that she had money. And even though the daughter had been divorced from Logan Fink's son, Greg, for over 10 years, C.J. Smith said, you got to go, boy. Me, 67 years old, you got to go, boy. You got to get out. You got to go. I said, no, sir, I don't have to go. He said to me, this is family, talking about Logan Fink. Logan Fink was never family. His own no good sorry son was family 10 years ago, and they divorced. But anyway, we've been done terribly, terribly wrong. The house has been foreclosed on. It can be appealed. Mrs. Walker has a wherewithal to live happily ever after over in Biloxi, Mississippi, at a retirement home with me. When they took her on December 27th, she cried, don't take me. This is my home. He loves me. He takes good care of me. They took her anyway. The so-called power of attorney turned out to be fraudulent. She went to the bank, took two of her mama's Social Security checks to the bank, and they would not honor her. They said she had to deposit it. They refused. I reported all this to David Morgan, the sheriff. He didn't have time to listen to it because he was nailing down signs on county property at Escambia County Equestrian Center, and he brushed me off. He said, call my commander. Call the commander. He said, talk to supervisor. Supervisor couldn't find me in the computer. He said, I'll send an officer. I said, I don't need any more officers. They've been in the house 20 times. They arrested Mrs. Walker for domestic violence against me when she fell and hit her head. I want Phil York to come to our rescue. She's going to lose the home. She's got $150,000, $75,000 equity in the house. We don't need to lose the home. We need a lawyer that don't want a client in the back of an ambulance to come rescue us. I'm a good man. The reports show from Adult Protective Services that I never committed one act that she accused me of. It's a third-degree felony to report such if it's a lie. Nobody's talked about prosecuting her. She's evil. And Mrs. Walker deserves some Valentine. She's at Lakeview Center, part of the Baptist Medical Center Hospitals group in Pensacola, Florida, and I didn't get to send her a card. They arrested me for interfering when they took her away. They were kidnapping her, and she knew they were kidnapping her, and she cried, don't take me. This is my home. He loves me. He takes good care of me. And they took her anyway, and I told the sheriff, a yard full of them. She did not have the capacity to consent. So the wing and the prayer, I'm 8 minutes and 7 seconds long. This is my second take. I'm not a professional, but I love Irina Walker. I want her back. She wants me, and I can't go see her for 8 weeks. She's been locked up. I can't even call her. She's at Lakeview facility in Pensacola, Florida, part of the Baptist Medical Group. And please, somebody send her a Valentine. And Phil York, have us on the show. She's wonderful. She's witty. She's smart. She's runway model, beautiful. And she deserves better than we get. And I thank you. And pray for Irina. Pray for me. I'm not a crybaby. I'm a wounded warrior. And they better look out. I'm not threatening anybody. But please, somebody on this earth, help us. Help her. Help her. She's rattled. She got kidnapped. She tried to jump out the car. She knew she was being kidnapped. Somebody come get Robin from Phil York. From Phil McGraw. He'll give you his line. I didn't give my line, but I argued. And that's the end of the story. I'm 9 minutes and 13 seconds in. And somebody help us. My friend's going to post this. I don't know what I'm doing other than trying to tell a story in 9 minutes and 21 seconds. Somebody help us. And I love America. I love America. And I think in the end they'll do what's right and reunite me with my daughter. And I thank you very much.